When I say that Ryback is tripping right now, he is. Because this nigga is fighting against fans that criticize him over the years since he left WWE. But at some point, you're going to have to come to grips to realize that your mistakes will have everybody talking about the same situation throughout the years. Even though you got your little podcast and your merchandise going on, but us fans will never forget what happened between you and the WWE. I get it. The way they fired you was kind of dumb and it was weird, but it's how you came about it is what made people react to videos about you. And so we're going to take a look at 2 videos of the whole Ryback situation. And shout out to my boy Kicking It with Ross. We're going to check out his video first, and then we're going to check out the downfall of Ryback's video. And after that, we're going to go to Twitter and we're going to see some of the craziest posts that Ross tweeted. And you're going to see my retweet of the person that shared the tweet of the whole situation with Ryback and Booker T and how that all went down on his show. And now he's doing the same thing to Ross, which is kind of dumb. So shout out to Ross. We're going to check out the video right now.
What's good, y'all? It's your boy Ross back here again with another video. So, I actually planned on making this video talking about my opinion on what happened with the whole Ryback situation on his podcast this morning. Shout out to everyone that was a part of the live stream. It was a very interesting one. But before I can even turn on the camera and record this video, I go on Twitter. And I want to show you this. Let me make myself smaller because I want y'all to see this. That's from the chat earlier. I forgot to mute that. But yeah, shout out to everyone that was in the stream. Let me show you this.
And
this.
Of course.
I was literally
I'm not even surprised no more.
Talking about my experience with Ryback and, you know, hearing his perspective. And he blocked me. And what's funny is, before he blocked me, he followed me. So I followed him back, and within maybe 20, 30 minutes, he blocked me. That shit's crazy. That's crazy, bro.
What a coward, bro.
He blocked me. Now, the only thing I can think of that maybe he felt some type of way, I'm not going to lie to you. If you watch the stream, it was funny. I'm being honest, and I was actually listening to him.
Yeah, I was watching it earlier too.
But the chat was hilarious. I'm not gonna lie to you, guys were hilarious. And to be honest, I didn't really get a chance to, I guess, have the conversation with him talking about why he, you know, felt the way he felt about my videos. I tried to go into that conversation, but ultimately he would kind of cut me off and then just start talking about stuff and giving his reasonings about stuff that really didn't line up with the whole initial reason having me on the show, was to talk about the videos. Like, he started going down a tangent, and it was just one of those things where it's like, well, hey, I'm you know, I want to be able to say some things, but, you know, I couldn't because he just kept talking. And I don't know if I was a voice to, you know, an ear to listen to. You know what I'm saying? A lot of y'all were calling me therapy with Ross. I don't know if that was the case, him just venting to another content creator. Cool. That's awesome. But once again, I didn't even really get a chance to dive in to potentially what his issues was with me and my point of view on certain things. I was able to talk about it a little bit, but then he was just kept talking. And it's like, some of the stuff that he's saying has some great points, but it still doesn't change the fact that ultimately I think this whole interaction came down to literally him feeling that those videos, my reactions to certain videos and the titles and all this other stuff was hurting his brand. And I was trying to get him to understand, your brand is fine.
That's the part I'm trying to figure out is what brand are you talking about? Just because people did videos on you, you get mad at them for quote unquote hurting your brand. Your brand is fine, bruh. That's life. Everybody is gonna talk about you regardless. All you had to do was just ignore it, but you didn't.
It does not hurt your brand. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Exactly.
I'm not. I don't have that type of weight in the community where whatever I say can ruin somebody. No. He lists off his accolades and stuff that he's doing outside of WWE. He's making more money than he ever has before. Okay, and that's awesome. That's good.
Right.
But at the same time, it's just one of those things where it's like you gotta. If you're in this space, you gotta understand certain people. You know what I'm saying? You know, will feel some type of way, or they'll have their opinions on certain stuff, and it's just one of those type of things where I just felt like you got to be able to take the good with the bad. And what I had said, even in the past, as a joke, yeah, you could say that maybe it was hurtful, whatever the case was, but I wouldn't have taken it that seriously because he's doing fine. So I don't know. This was just a very, very weird way to end off the interaction because apparently, I guess on his live, he was saying he would like to have me back. And then I guess somebody must have clipped some of the stuff or said, oh, he's talking about you. To be honest with you, I really wasn't talking about him. My chat was, and my homie was, and I was just laughing because it was funny. I'm just being honest. It's funny when you're trying to actually have a conversation and then someone cuts you off and then they just go on and they go on. And some of the stuff he was saying was pretty poignant to his point, but at the same time, I'm just like, all right, so I'm literally just here to listen to you talk. And if that's what it is, that's what it was supposed to be. Cool. I ain't tripping. It is what it is. Get your truth out. Because a lot of the stuff I didn't know that he really was dealing with. But yeah, man, I don't know. This was very, very interesting. I did not expect him to follow me, then block me. Hopefully, he doesn't take it personally. Once again, those videos and reactions definitely, I promise you, definitely doesn't hurt your brand. Like, you good, bro. You still doing your thing. You good, bro. I don't go like thinking, you know what I'm saying, today I'm gonna try to shit on Ryback. I don't care. Like, yes, your name may get some views, and this is definitely gonna get some views because how recent and current it is. But a week from now, nobody's gonna be talking about this. That's just what it is. Content keeps coming out. Content keeps rotating. Nobody's going to be talking about this from a week from now. It may be a pass, like a mention, but it is what it is. So I'm wishing Ryback nothing but the best. Don't send him no hate. It is what it is. If he wants to block me, cool. I'm not. It's not a big deal. It's funny because I still really didn't get a chance to actually dive into what the issue really was. But it was him. It was him to vent. He wanted to vent and get stuff off his chest. So, but yeah, I wish nothing but the best for Ryback. Hopefully he continues to keep doing his own thing, man. And we'll just leave it at that. Honestly, I'm guessing he did not like what people in the chat were saying and me laughing because it was funny. I'm not gonna lie to you. He started going down a whole tangent, and I thought we were gonna be just talking about his initial issues with my previous reactions. But I'm not gonna go on let me make 20 videos about Ryback. I don't want him to think I'm fucking trying to take down his brand and tarnish his name. I'm not even gonna get into that. This will probably be the last time I talk about him on this platform unless something is said about me and I receive the information. We'll go from there, but I'm keeping it chill, keeping it peaceful. It is what it is. It's all good. Comment down below.
Here's my overall thoughts on this whole issue and why I found it to be silly. Here's my overall thoughts on this whole issue and why I found it to be very ridiculous and stupid at the same time because, number one, you are a former WWE star. You have a podcast and you have a brand. You have so much going on with your career. And I get it. You're making that money. Get that bag. Cool. fine. But it's the fact that you invited this guy on your show to air out the situation while everybody was reacting to a video and they found it to be funny because of his chat, and you got mad about it. And then on top of that, after you invited him to finish this little quote-unquote conversation that y'all were having, you immediately blocked him on X. At this point, man, you gotta realize that sometimes you cannot let small little inanticipated bits of things offend you, especially when people are reacting to your videos or videos about you. So what? I mean, everybody has their opinions on a different superstar, whether they like him or not. Fine. But why on God's name would you want to block this cat after you invited him on your show? So that tells me that you're not only fake, but you're a phony. I'm sorry to say this, y'all, but it's the truth. Not all heroes wear capes. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and take a look at this next video on the downfall of Cryback. So, I'll be right back.
Whenever any fan hears that name, they'll either remember a wrestler who at one point was so over that people wanted to see him end CM Punk's WWE title reign, whilst others will think of a Twitter poll. Ryback went from being a WWE main eventer and one of the most over wrestlers in the company to just being a complete joke in the industry.
Yeah.
Ryback's downfall is something that truly needs to be studied. Oh wait, that's what I'm here for. WWE audiences were first introduced to Ryan Reeves when he was a part of the $1 Million Tough Enough in 2004, and though he did not win the season of Tough Enough and did not win the show, he would still end up getting signed to the WWE, who clearly saw something in him and signed him to a developmental contract, and he would report to Deep South Wrestling. Ryan would train with Deep South Wrestling for a couple of years before OVW became the new WWE developmental, and his ring name was changed to Ryback. However, FCW would become the new developmental a couple years later, and Ryback would be repackaged as Skip Sheffield. And after a bit of time in FCW,
that's a dumb name called Skip.
WWE TV to be a part of the first season of NXT in February 2010. Back when it was that really weird reality competition show. Skip Sheffield's pro was William Regal as he set out to win a WWE contract. However, Skip sort of failed to make any sort of impact on NXT. He was eliminated on week 12 as the third elimination of the show, finishing...
Here's the thing about the Nexus. Back when I was 19, the entire group really made an impact in the WWE. And to be honest with you, part of me really missed the Nexus because they really changed WWE forever. To be honest with you, I personally think that John Cena should have never buried the Nexus because they were like the premier group in the WWE. And even though when they wrestled in NXT, the old NXT, this so-called reality competition to develop young stars, but when they came to WWE Raw just to attack the announcers, the camera crew, John Cena, they even tore down the ring. Like, it's obvious to me that the Nexus were a big deal. And Ryback, he was going to be a promising star going forward. But what happened behind the scenes, man, I feel like they just completely dropped the ball on him, though. Maybe it was his fault as well. I'm not sure, but that's what we're here to find out.
5 win-loss record and finishing 6th out of 8th. But despite not winning the show, Skip would still get his main roster opportunity, as on the June 7th, 2010 episode of Raw, Skip Sheffield, along with all the other NXT contestants, would attack John Cena, CM Punk, the announcers, and
one of the best moments in Raw history.
Had just arrived in the WWE in one of the most infamous segments and moments in WWE history, and a huge moment for the time. The Nexus would continue feuding with John Cena, and this was a big spot for Skip Sheffield to be in. I mean, the Nexus were being presented as the top heel stable and were all involved in the main event angles of every single show they were on. It was a...
So just imagine seeing all black wrestlers wearing shirts like that. Like, the first thing that comes to your mind if you see stuff like that, I would probably call them niggas. Just imagine this man coming up with some of the worst concept of them wearing ends on their shirts. They could be calling them nuts, nut sacks, niggas, or whatever. But Nexus, it's something about these group. No. It's something about this group that really made WWE for what it is. They all went on to become future stars after the Nexus ended. Thanks to John Cena, of course. Yeah.
Spot, but we all know what happened to the Nexus. We all know.
Oh,
they went
yeah.
to SummerSlam that year to take on a team of the WWE roster in a 7v7 match. People like John Cena, Edge, Chris Jericho, The Great Khali, Bret Hart. You know, all the stars. And of course, they lost this match as well as all of their credibility, which was just completely squandered after being built up for 3 months for no reason. That same month,
they could have
Skip
been
Sheffield
the
would also
ultimate
get
heels
injured
in the
and would have to
WWE.
go through 3 surgeries in his ankle, leaving him out of action for a year and a half, and he was effectively kicked out of the Nexus. In April 2012,
I remember hearing
Skip
about
would
it.
make his return, but he would make his return as Ryback, and he would go on a run of squashing folks. When I say a run of squashing folks, I mean it was damn near 6 months of Ryback nearly every single show, just destroying and squashing 1, 2, or even sometimes 3 wrestlers in a matter of minutes and saying, "Feed me more." And even if there was a subsection of fans chanting Goldberg at him, Ryback was getting over, and this repackaging was
he was the Goldberg of the 2010s.
October 2012, CM Punk needed a new challenger, and the only active and built-up enough wrestler to challenge him at the time was Ryback, who, when he was revealed as Punk's next challenger for Hell in a Cell, would become the most over he's ever been in the company. There were fans who wanted to see him beat CM Punk. In fact, I'd go as far to say that a good majority of people wanted to see him beat CM Punk. However, who didn't want to see him beat CM Punk was, of course, the WWE themselves, who were not intent on having Ryback win the title from Punk, because, of course, they wanted The Rock to do that. WWE had booked themselves into the corner. Ryback was so over, but they didn't want Punk to lose. So what did they do? Well, they had referee Brad Maddox attack Ryback to help CM Punk get the win at Hell in a Cell, in a horrible finish and a dreadful swerve.
Yeah, that was pretty stupid. I remember seeing that years ago.
He would challenge for the title again. This time in a 3-way match also involving John Cena at Survivor Series. This match would end with Punk winning via interference again, but this time though from The Shield, who were making their debut.
Oh
and
yeah, I remember
this would kick off
that.
a feud between Ryback and The Shield, with Ryback teaming up with Team Hell No to face The Shield in a TLC match at TLC, and Ryback's team did lose, but this match was awesome. He would enter the Royal Rumble match for the first time in 2012, entering last at number 30, and got 5 eliminations before being eliminated by John Cena in the final 2. And this is where Ryback would really start to stall in the WWE, as every big match that Ryback was in, he was usually on the losing end of. At WrestleMania 29, in his first WrestleMania, he would have a match with Mark Henry, which he lost. And now, all the momentum that had been built up had officially just
It's funny because
destroyed.
I don't remember
Ryback would turn
them
heel
two
the next
ever
night for
fighting
the
against
first
each
time
other.
as Ryback, and despite losing to Mark Henry, would get to challenge John Cena for the title at the next 2 pay-per-views at Extreme Rules and Payback, but he was unsuccessful in both. And after this, he would kind of just coast around for the rest of 2013, with the WWE seemingly just not knowing what to do with Ryback, and he did all sorts of things. He was a...
Bruh, this was probably the worst angle of his career. And the promos he was cutting was terrible. I get that Paul Heyman is a legendary manager, but good grief. What were they thinking? Having him team up with Paul Heyman, knowing full well that he... Why? Just why?
Heyman guy at one point, along with Curtis Axel. Remember Rybaxel? The greatest tag team ever. He also got to work with CM Punk again at Hell in a Cell, losing of course, in an angle that Punk revealed he hated doing, as he hated working with Ryback, and during this feud would make Ryback call himself an idiot backstage after he botched a table spot and hurt Punk. Ouch. And
Wow.
2014 was also much of the same, with Ryback being relegated to being a jobber tag wrestler with Curtis Axel, a major fall-off from 2012. In August of 2014, he would undergo hernia surgery, leaving him out of action for a couple of months, but when he returned, he would get a good spot when he returned, and he would return as a babyface with his Feed Me More gimmick once again, and he was added as part of Team WWE to face Team Authority at Survivor Series.
The best
a really
match.
big spot to be in. And of course, at the show, Team WWE would win the match with help from Sting, and Ryback would resume life as a singles wrestler, no more Rybacksel. And Ryback kind of found himself in a spot where he would wrestle on pay-per-views and get regular TV time and good spots to be in and good spots on cards, but he was usually on the losing end when it came down to it in the big matches. But at Elimination Chamber 2015, that would finally come to an end when Ryback won his first title, winning the Intercontinental Championship Chamber match in what was an awful match, by the way. So yeah, win his first title. It was a great moment for him. He would defend the title successfully against Big Show and The Miz at that year's SummerSlam, but would lose it to Kevin Owens at Night of Champions, ending his reign at 112 days in a pretty average title reign. And following this, Ryback would begin treading water again and needed something new. And something new is what he would get when in February 2016, he would abandon the singlet and would sport trunks and turn heel again. He had gone full Goldberg mode officially. He challenged Kalisto for the US title at Mania 32 in a losing effort, and then again at Payback, also in a losing effort in what would be his final appearance with the WWE, as on May 2nd, he was sent home from TV tapings due to a contract dispute. And the next day, he'd post to his blog that this was due to lack of equal pay and creative frustrations from his end. And 3 months later, Ryback's release was finally finalized, and he was gone from the WWE just like that. So overall, Ryback's run in the WWE wasn't that bad. He definitely underachieved for how over he was at one point, however, overall, it wasn't a bad run. But what caused Ryback to really fall off and become a joke is his activity post-WWE. Particularly on Twitter, where on his page, you'll find posts like, Vince McMahon, like most promoters, has an insatiable urge to have control. He had no control watching his mum get beat up as a child, which is a horrendous thing for a kid to witness, as their whore mum tries to make ends meet. Vince has failed to evolve. Fuck you, old man.
Oh my God. This nigga is really wildin'. I see why everybody calls him a joke. You insulted his mom. That something happened. Yo, at some point, you got to understand that you don't run WWE. You work for them. At least you could have just talked with them about the contract dispute or the lack of equal pay or whatever. All of that could have worked out. But it's the fact that you had the audacity to insult his family, to insult his childhood, because they fire you. Boy, if this ain't some suspect stuff that I've seen in a long time, I don't know what is. This is embarrassing, bro.
Completely unhinged tweet, and one that is even more unhinged when you realize that this tweet came not too long after Vince's mother had passed away. And as well as this on Ryback's Twitter, you have tweets from him wishing death on Vince, making derogatory comments towards current WWE talent, and of course, the infamous tweet asking fans where
the times I did commentary, Vince McMahon never said a negative thing to me. I swear to God, he knew I would get up and beat the S out of him if he did. It sucks he was so, to so many others. WWE controls mic skills on talents. If they want to get over, they play your music louder and make your mic clearer. Now you know. Vince McMahon, you could give Master Steve Austin music and he still won't be over. Holy S, your product effing sucks. I don't understand why you're so busy tweeting about Vince McMahon and worrying about how he treats others. We know Vince McMahon is a crook behind the scenes, and that's why he's no longer with the WWE. We get it. It's the fact that you went and cried about it after you got fired by the company. You insult his family, his children, everybody in the WWE that done nothing to you. They've done nothing to you. And that's one of the main reasons why I personally believe that he has some type of vendetta against this in the WWE, which we all do, and it's true. He really is the prick of the company. But you made it worse for yourself, bruh.
They want to see him return, where the option to retire was clearly the winner.
Uh-huh.
A tweet that he kept reposting, and retire kept on winning. This poll is now synonymous with Ryback's
it goes to show you the
career
fans
and
were
all
against
he's
you,
really
bruh.
known for in wrestling today. A poll telling him to retire. That is tough. Ryback has not wrestled since 2018, and there's no chance he'll ever return to the WWE due to his comments about the McMahons and his lack of goodwill with the fans that he has of course lost. Ryback's drop-off in the last decade has quite been something, from being one of wrestling's top guys to being a joke who nobody wants to sign. But then again, has anybody
Running your mouth on Twitter will get you into trouble, and that's what he get. So I'm gonna leave it here. We're gonna go ahead and dive on Twitter because Ross has been posting Ryback's tweets, and if y'all remember in the beginning of the video when I said that we're gonna go on Twitter and we're gonna break down some of the tweets, and we're gonna just expose Ryback. So be right back. All right, y'all. So we are on Twitter. So shout outs to Ross once again. We go on his Twitter page. Ryback, aka Cryback, is a poor excuse of a human being when it comes to like getting mad at the fans for criticizing him, you know, and expects people to just be on his side. Like, bro, that's not how life works, bro. Like, you're gonna have to take some type of accountability for all the stuff that you said about the WWE, about Vince McMahon and his family, his mother, and his childhood. Like, that was kind of like on a personal jab, bro. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and take a look at his tweet from Ryback. Wow. This is what Ross tweeted because of his video. I mean, look, you would have think that after being on WWE for so many years, a lot of wrestlers went on to do some things like doing OnlyFans, which I hate the most, doing food reviews, which I respect and I don't mind I'm doing. And the fact that Ryback has really gone downhill ever since his WWE days ended, yeah, it's crazy. So this is what I believe from, why did I say that twice? Ryback, where it says the fall from grace. This tweet: imagine being in a main event with CM Punk and Cena to fall off and beefing with the YouTuber. Hey, I'm not gonna lie, that tweet is pretty funny. Oh yeah, bruh. There's a reason why you got clowned on Twitter, bro. Look at this. Making out with Shrek. I mean, if you if you sugar, just say it, bro. It's okay if you gay, just stop hiding it. But it's unfortunate that this is one of the main reasons why this nigga got clowned so bad on Twitter and on YouTube because of this. Like, what is this? Now I know why Ross was laughing at the video and during the stream, because it's not only funny, but it's embarrassing at the same time. Yeah, feed him more, right? He need to feed his soul. Okay, so we know about this. We've seen this on YouTube earlier, for the most part. Alright, so it says, imagine being one of the most over guys in wrestling to play. Oh my god, bro. Like, he on TikTok too? Oh man, let's see what's going on. And who is this person? Yeah, some wild times, bro. Wild times. Who following is he really going to take? I've gained more followers today from your little show, and all you did was speak your little heart out to me, and I barely even said anything. And that's the thing though, like, and I watched the video myself, and Ross didn't even say anything. He couldn't even get a word in. And all he did was just talk. It's like, bruh, if you're gonna invite a guest on your show, give people time to speak their minds and ask you questions, and then you go on and on and on and on and on to the point where it's not going anywhere. That's why you got clowned on social media, on Twitter, YouTube, and that's why you became the joke that we all know you ought to be. Like, it's crazy. Alright, so this is the tweet that I saw on Twitter. A true troll who falls in line when confronted with an energy they know they can't disrupt. Homie came on and got every question answered, and then dipped out to run his mouth to try and save face. You should be ashamed if you're a fan of this. Now I'm beginning to understand why you brought this upon yourself, bruh. He came on with no ill intentions of trolling you, destroying you, and all of that. Bro, you did all of this on yourself, bruh. And then you want to cry and claim that he hurt your brand. Nigga, your brand is fine. Your brand is fine. You can still make money selling your products or whatever it is that you do. Fine. But why come up with this? You calling him a troll? Yeah, bro, you pathetic. I would say this, I wish him nothing but the best in all 2024. I don't have no beef with anyone in this space, and I'm gonna keep it that way. Good, you should. Try telling that to Ryback, or Cryback for that matter, because he's one that is still on social media, crying. Come on, bruh. And this is where we saw that he blocked him. So my question is, how you go to invite somebody on your show, and then once the show is ending, you go to block them on social media when they called you out on your nonsense? Is she crazy? Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and go to my Twitter, and I'm gonna show you what I retweeted. There's this post that really made a lot of sense as to why everybody is starting to turn on him, basically. Alright, so we are here and on my Twitter, so make sure y'all go follow me on Twitter. So this is what I retweeted from Ross is Clutch, or this reply. So this one is about Booker T and Ryback, of how they got into it in the past, and now he's doing the same thing to Ross as well. Last year, Ryback got into a Twitter war with Booker T, where he invited Booker onto his show in a bid to clearly attempt to belittle Booker under the guise of a debate. Booker saw right through it, and I myself did as well. I tweeted out that I understood why Booker would not appear on Ryback's show, knowing that it would not be a back and forth. Well, it would not be a back and forth mature debate, but rather one man mouthing off about his thoughts on the matter and that the others simply didn't matter. Booker retweeted it. He agreed. Booker wasn't wasting his time. Ryback saw this retweet and blocked me as a result for defending Booker. Idiot. Ryback has inflated sense of self-importance. He believes that his brand is bigger than it actually is, and that is constantly under attack at all times. He took Ross under the guise of a friendly chat onto the show to basically just sucker Ross in. He had no intentions of a discussion. His mindset was simple. He brought Ross on and attempted to belittle, just like he did with Booker T. So what he basically did was he had Ross come on and talked over him and didn't let Ross really speak. Ryback then goes on to boast about his accomplishments outside of WWE so that he sees like someone of high importance, while because Ross is not talking, in actuality, he's not being given a chance to speak. Ross then comes across like a troll who doesn't know what he's talking about. That guy, the big guy, left him speechless. Then to help keep his brand looking positive so nobody is sus of him, sus of him, he thanks Ross for coming on and adds him on social media, so all in front. Soon after Ross is blocked, Ryback thinks to himself, I've rebuilt my image and made that guy look like an idiot. While all the while Ross is just trying to be respectful and humble towards the guy, some people are obsessed with family and have an inflated ego. Ryback is one of them. I'm disappointed that he would take advantage of Ross' kindness. Exactly. Look, sorry for my stumble upon reading long tweets, because if I see something like this, that causes me to struggle when words are this small. But if words are this big enough, then I'm able to like read y'all the information. But this tweet that he just tweeted made a lot of sense as to why Ryback is the way he is, though. Like, that's the one thing that kind of disgusts me the most, is you would take advantage of someone's kindness for weakness because you feel some type of way of them making fun of you. You know, at some point, Ryback is a complete joke. He did it to himself. He tried doing it with Booker T, and now he's doing it with Ross. That's one of the main reasons why a lot of people don't really respect him anymore, because of all of this madness. And all Ross ever did was trying to have a word, and he brought him on his show so he could just mouth off about his accomplishments. And Ross didn't even say anything. He asked him questions and he gave him his answer, but it was about nothing. So basically, this was all a video that he reacted to, and he laughed about it, and he thought it was funny, and he got mad about all of that. But my question is to Ryback is, what brand is you talking about? I don't see you selling books, merchandise, or whatever. This is embarrassing, bro. Before I end this video off, I want to know, how do you all feel about this? If you feel how I feel about Ryback and his dumb attempts to try to destroy people for criticizing him, this is how I feel.
What a dumbass.
Exactly. I'm out of here.